Welcome back to yet another Leagues 4 episode. We have some catching up to do, but as a quick refresher. Last episode we finished maxing, and we were the third person to max. This also got us our final tier 8 relic, which we chose Undying Retribution. Because we plan on Derek'ing Slayer, we'll be consistently camping low HP, and Undying Retribution allows us to die once every 3 minutes. It's great that we finished maxing 5 days in, but the reality is, we only have 300 million XP. Leagues is only 8 weeks long, and in order to hit our goal of 200 mil all, we still need another 4.3 billion experience in the remaining 51 days, averaging to about 84 million XP per day. With no time to waste, let's jump in. So you might be wondering, why am I PVMing when we have a lot of XP per day to gain? Well, PVMing. Our first goal on the road to 200 mil all is going to be the thing you'd last expect from a level 3 noob, 200 mil Slayer. I want to only think long term since we're on such a time limit. So before jumping into the Slayer grind, we have to complete the Kourend Elite Diary, which gives us an Ash Sanctifier that will automatically scatter our ashes when we kill NPCs for full prayer XP. The gain from this for 200 mil Slayer is going to be huge, especially because I plan on doing a lot of monsters that drop ashes and not so much bones. So that's how we found ourselves here. I hit up a friend to carry us through the Chambers of Xerix, as that's what we need to complete the diary. I'm glad you guys finally got around to seeing me do some PVM. Unfortunately, even with 5 times drop rates, we did not get a purple. Oh, but we did get an ancient tablet, which I believe can be used to teleport back here, in case I ever need to for some reason. With the power of Twitch chat to educate us on Slayer, we took a quick detour to do the Morytania Diary, because the Elite rewards us with 10% bonus Slayer XP for everything we kill in the tower. We will be doing some Necroodles up here along with Bloodvelds, so it should be more than worth it. Not bad. I'm pretty sure completing that diary was worth it just for the agility XP. Since our XP rates are times 16, including XP lamps, it looks like every diary we complete is a free 1.2 mil agility XP, or about 45 minutes saved. With the Canathus and Kourend diary now complete, I believe it is finally time to start the 200 mil Slayer grind. Here we go, starting off with Tower Necroodles. I never had a chance to go in depth in previous episodes about this, so let's nerd out a little bit. Tower Necroodles are known for their insane amount of seed drops. They poop out herb seeds like crazy. Not only that, but they are the only Necroodles in the game that are 105 hit points. If you go outside of Slayer Tower, you'll find Necroodles, but you can only find greater ones, which have 205 hit points. These will not be one-hittable. It's important for my build to one-hit Slayer mobs, because our Berserker Relic allows us to always hit our max hit if the enemy is full HP. So once we tag an NPC, if we don't one-hit it, it might take us a while to finish it off. We don't have that guaranteed max hit anymore. We can even splash sometimes. Not only that, but something else to consider is that we are camping low HP thanks to Darox. And if you do not one-hit these Necroodles, they will spawn death spawns, which will deal damage through prayer and kill you since you're camping low hit points. Finally, let's talk about our lovely magic XP grind throughout not even just Slayer, but the rest of the series. We don't have access to Desert for Ancients, so it's not like we can go Barrage for magic XP. With our setup, there's basically no efficient way of training magic. We have to get 200 mil magic 100% passively, otherwise we'll be stuck in the library for 3 mil an hour, which would be one of our slowest skills. Right now, I'm experimenting casting Arceus spells instead of Alking, since each spell only requires 1 click, whereas Alking requires 2. The spells all have a different cooldown, which we don't have to worry about, because our trusty RuneLite client tells us when it's ready to be cast again. No timers here, so it looks like we forgot to click. The XP rate is not that great. We're almost at 400k an hour, which is the same as 385 alks per hour. Alking has no cooldown. Other than being a 5-tick action itself, we can cast 1200 times per hour if we're perfect. Do I think we'll be able to cast it that many times while slaying? Probably not, but 385 should be easy to beat. Many players with 80 Slayer who have done Necroodles on the normal game have died at least once to the superior, because the death spawns from it are actually quite strong. Given that I'm camping low HP, you'd think that I'd quickly die to them. However, we have a league strat. In the normal game, if you were to die or teleport away, the death spawns won't hit you anymore. Since I have a Crystal of Memories in leagues to teleport me instantly back, I just hit the superior 2 to 3 times, and before it can spawn anything that can attack me, I teleport away and back. If it spawns something, they didn't get a chance to hit me, and they lose their aggression since I teleported away. So now that we've covered everything, what kind of XP rates can we actually expect? Well, about 3 mil an hour Slayer, 1.1 mil an hour Prayer just from the Ash Sanctifier, which is crazy good in my opinion, and about 9 mil an hour melee XP, which for the first one, we're going to go for defense. We also are currently getting 350k magic, but hopefully that will increase later on. Nothing seems a good day like getting back-to-back Necroils with your Slayer Cape perk. Last task, you saw me kill Necroils in the Slayer Tower basement, but I heard that the upstairs area has more, so if any of you haters are going to talk about living in a basement, I now live on the 3rd floor.
A new player has entered the game.
L0L.
This guy is probably so confused right now. I don't think anyone's really done Darok Slayer yet. This clip is only from day 6. 25 mil defense though.
What the beep is even that?
Alright, so he's definitely confused, but he's also watching us like we're a zoo animal. We gotta get out of here. I wouldn't really call this a detour, but think about it. We can't just melee everything to 200 mil Slayer. That'll leave us with 13 mil range XP and no way to train it. Our best range training method is the Necroils and Kourend. The only downside is that we need Black Chinchompas for it. So every day when we want a little break from Slayer, we'll come to the Wildy and hunt some Black Chins. This will somewhat get us 200 mil Hunter passively since we need to do this anyway, while banking 200 mil ranged and hopefully throwing all the Chins on task for some free Slayer XP. Oh, and of course, I got sick of clicking all the different spells in Ursia's spellbook, so we're back to Alking now. And the first 8th of Hunter is now complete, 25 mil Hunter. And a little later that same evening, 35 mil Hunter. I mean, let's be real, Hunter's 4 mil an hour, so finishing 50 mil Hunter the same evening isn't that bad. It's only about a 7-hour session. Sure, we may have done 10 hours of Slayer prior to this, but if we can't handle it, we have no chance of getting 200 mil all before Leagues ends. With all the Hunter we did last night, it set us up for a long Slayer session with ranged. So today, every Necroil task we get, we are going to go to Kourend to throw some Chinchompas. And yes, I did make dancers to lure easier on Leagues. It took about an hour, it was more than worth it for this. Already 50 mil ranged. Our tier 7 relic increases our damage based off our hit points, kind of like a Darok set in itself. So it's important to camp low HP. However, since we don't one-hit these, we have to camp at least 10 to 20 HP so that we don't die from the death spawns. The superiors are still done the same way, although I do bring a melee weapon for them. The rates today aren't that great, but it's for a good reason. Chinning Necroils is only about 1.8 mil an hour Slayer, but it's 7 mil an hour ranged. And because we don't have access to Monkey Madness 2 or even Monkey Madness 1 tunnels, this is our best range training method. This is thinking macro, or more long term. Knowing that we'll have to chin Necroils post 200 mil Slayer for range XP, since like I said, it's our best method, we are essentially zero timing Slayer XP while working on 200 mil range right now. We're not even done yet today, and we're at 28 mil range XP gained and 15 mil Slayer. Not bad at all. At this point, I'm unsure if this is a good task or not, but Abyssal Demons have 150 hit points, meaning we can't one-hit them. However, the other benefits made me think they might be worth doing. They are located in the wilderness, meaning they drop Laren keys, which we can use for pure essence for ring crafting. They also have one of the best superiors in the game in terms of Slayer XP, which gives a base of 4.2k Slayer XP in the main game. This increases the Slayer XP now pretty significantly, since we have a 1 in 50 chance to find a superior. Finally, they drop Abyssal Ashes, which we automatically scatter for 1.3k prayer XP for kill, and this will add up over time. Including superiors, this is about 2.4 mil an hour Slayer, which like I said, it's not the greatest, but it's everything else that makes this task, in my opinion, worth doing. So there is actually a logical reason on why you only saw me training defense for melees so far. Depending on the style you choose on your weapon, you get an invisible level boost of that style. For example, if I'm training defense, I get an invisible +3 defense boost. If I'm killing NPCs that are 105 hit points, my max hit is 116, so it's no issue. However, there are 2 tasks that I can do that have 120 hit points. When I train defense on them, I can't one-hit them since my max hit is only 116. However, if I were to train strength, I get an invisible +3 strength bonus, and it makes my max hit 120. Since Greater Demons have exactly 120 hit points, the only way I can one-hit them is if I train strength here. So all of my strength training comes from these guys and Bloodvelds. The Bloodvelds in the Slayer Tower are similar to the Necroodles that we kill here, where a lot of people in the main game kill the mutated Bloodvelds, but they have 170 hit points. And because we can't one-hit them, it's more efficient to kill the weaker ones in the Slayer Tower. Plus, remember the Mauritania Elite Diary we did? We get 10% more Slayer XP for anything we kill in this tower, so the Slayer XP from this is nuts. I wouldn't really call it a successful day unless we got 1/4 of the way. So here's 50 mil Slayer. Today's gains look pretty good. 27 mil Slayer gained, 6 mil Prayer, and only 3.3 mil Magic? Our magic rate needs to be way higher than it currently is. I probably got a little bit lazy and didn't alch as much as I was supposed to, so hopefully we see some pickup in the future. After a long day, we'll want to stay efficient, but it's likely that we'll be drained from doing anything too intensive. So a good AFK method we'll have to use for training later on anyway is Soul Wars. Thanks to the minigame buff giving us 8 times rewards and ults for boosting, we can get over 3,000 zeals per hour. These zeals can then be spent on Spoils of War, which gives us Pure Essence, meaning any Pure Essence we don't get from Layering Keys will have to come through Soul Wars. 200 mil rune crafting is about 1.1 million Essence, and the Layering Keys on average drop rate should only get us about 200,000. Meaning we still have to bank 900,000 Essence through Soul Wars, which may sound like a lot, but averaging 3,000 zeals per hour is roughly 100,000 Essence per hour, which is only 9 hours for banking the remaining of 200 mil rune crafting. Not that bad, right? The zeals can also be used on combat XP, and because the minigame points are 8 times and the XP is 16 times, they multiply together. You heard that right. That gives us 128 times the XP rates of the main game. If this were a viable combat method, all of our combats would be at least 20 mil an hour, with Prayer as an exception of only being 12 mil an hour. There's just one problem. In the main game, there is a cap of 1 mil XP that can be claimed per day. This cap is also in leagues at the time of this clip, which is a week after it started. So we get a passive 1 mil XP every day for the next 55 days. It's still a free 55 mil combat XP. So how does it work? If 2 players want to 1v1 in Soul Wars, they can use the red portal and challenge each other, as long as they are in separate friends chats. Once you're in the game, you want to run towards the middle and kill the NPCs that drop soul fragments. The person on the other team will do the same. The stronger NPCs a little more in drop 4 soul fragments, so it's recommended to kill those, whereas when you kill the weaker NPCs, they only drop 2 at a time. Next, once you have a total of anywhere from 20 to 40 fragments between the both of you, run to the middle and have the person who wants the zeal kill the other. Wait for the obelisk to change colors and then use the fragments on it to lower the avatar's strength. Next, run to the avatar and deal damage until it has under 79% health. Then the other player can leave the game. As long as the timer is under 1209, you should get 152 zeal if you have the multiplier. We got 10,000 zeals this session, so let's go get some Pure Essence. Oh, it looks like PVM JCW just got his first boss pet and some free points. There goes all of my zeal, but let's not forget to claim our 1 mil magic XP before leaving. Those 10,000 zeals got us 271,000 pure essence. Nothing wrong with a little break from Slayer, so let's go ahead and send those away. $25 mil rune crafting, 35 mil rune crafting, and 50 mil rune crafting. Still 74,000 essence to go, so might as well finish what we started. Alright, well that was a fun little session. 45 mil XP gained in one go, and 24 mil an hour. I'll take it. The blood runes will be our main source of income throughout this series, selling 50 at a time for 200 GP each at the Zamorak Mage. So that little session just made us 50 mil. Fletching will for sure be our most expensive skill, but the blood runes should fund it pretty comfortably. We will be doing broad bolts to 200 mil fletching. They have no delay and you can zero tick them, similar to darts. I decided to test out some fletching during my Necrodil task, and I'm not that much of a fan of it. I'll probably just stick to mage from now on. I'm not sure where we'll fletch, but I'll worry about that later on. On top of high alching, if we're on the normal spellbook, we can cast a level 80 spell, Death Charge, once every minute for magic XP. It's 2.8k XP for only one click. Very easy to use, and we'll definitely be using this along our whole journey now. And it looks like we have a little visitor trying to PK in the game mode where everyone is an Iron Man and nothing is lost. Okay then. Here it is, 100 mil Hunter. It's not much, but I am chipping away some fletching during Hunter. In previous clips, you always saw me tagging Necrodils with a whip. The reason I didn't want to use darts is because my Berserker Relic makes me max my first hit, and it seemed like a waste to use that on darts. However, we just thought of something. What if we were to make a magic short bow and use that instead? Okay, so guaranteed 2000 range XP drops, and we can hit them from a distance. I think this is actually really good. Obviously a small sample size, but it's about the same Slayer XP rate, although we do get more range, so I guess that is better. Here it is, 100 mil experience in the range skill. Not long after, halfway done on Slayer as well. Later on that evening, we decided to go nuclear on Hunter again, and did 150 mil. This should set us up for a very comfortable range day. And good morning everybody. We actually had a lot of Necrodils today. We're just about 170 mil ranged, and you may have remembered us using Soul Wars XP on magic previously. However, if we try a little harder to zero time magic during Slayer, it would be more efficient for us to use the Zeal on ranged. So after we finish this task, the remaining of our range XP will come from Soul Wars, doing 1 mil XP per day for the next 30 days. More than happy to be back to meleeing Necrodils. Here's 150 mil Slayer. These are the kind of magic XP rates that we should have been seeing this whole time. 900k an hour is crazy good. Currently 163 mil Slayer, and it's finally happening. Our first 200 mil out of 23. Defense is done. That locked us in as rank 4 on the high scores, and when considering we trained a bunch of range and strength, that isn't bad at all. Since we are still only training strength on the 120 HP tasks, we will now be starting our attack grind on the weaker NPCs. Don't mind me, just recording a 3-hour session of a consistent 3.5 mil an hour Slayer. Oh yeah, no Slayer Relic by the way. This puts us at 175 mil Slayer. And of course, here's 50 million attack XP. By the way, I have yet to train Prayer since we got 99. and we just hit 50 mil. The Ash Sanctifier is going hard. Alright, let's wrap this bad boy up. Day 13 of leagues, not even 2 weeks in. We are the first player to get 200 mil Slayer. It would only be right to show the loot. Since we had to range a lot of Nechryaels, unfortunately, we don't have as many seeds as I was hoping. If we were able to do Tower Necks the whole way, our seeds would probably be about double. However, these are the final seeds I have. I have no idea how much herb XP this is, but we'll worry about that later on. We finished around 1.9 bill total XP, so now we only have 2.7 to go. I only killed about 2,000 Abyssal Demons because I got sick of not one-hitting them. However, we did kill 16,000 Bloodvelds, 13,000 Dust Devils, and 28,000 Nechryaels. I also have over 1,000 Superiors killed, which gave us 17 Hearts and 13 Eternal Gems. We got 200 mil Slayer at 197 mil Strength, so why not finish 200 mil before the end of the episode? Remember, our prayer strategy is to kill green dragons, where we bank about 600 to 700 bones an hour, effectively making prayer about 6 mil an hour, which is decent. The combat XP we get from here is essentially 0 time. And there we go, 200 million strength experience. We also did get hit points at some point, which I don't know where the recording is, but that puts us at 4 200 mils. Slayer, hit points, strength, and defense. Also, since our first grind was Slayer, which is pretty high overall XP per hour due to the combats and hit points, we are currently rank 1 overall XP as well. Hopefully we game hard enough to hold this for the remaining 6 weeks. Nearly forgot, but yeah, we do have 576 layering keys. The only item that actually benefits us from this is Pure Essence. I can maybe see the magic logs being useful, but we're probably going to end up doing broad bolts the whole way for fletching anyway. Okay, so doing 200 mil Slayer got us a passive 140k Pure Essence. It only saved us about an hour and a half of Soul Wars, but to be fair, I don't think anyone expected Soul Wars to just casually be 100k Pure Essence per hour. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, feel free to leave a like and comment down below. Maybe even hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I will see you all in the next episode, where the journey to 4.6 will continue. TY for watching, and peace out.